Hi everybody, welcome to the call. I'm really honored here to be talking to Matt Bacak. Now, Matt has been one of my personal heroes for a long time. I mean, this guy has been around in the industry since the year dot, and we were really excited to have him coming out to our Fusion Dojo event. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen family reasons, he's unable to attend, which is, disappointing for us all. But the great news is he has agreed to come and share his content with you anyway, so that you don't miss out. And I'm just really grateful that he's taken the time to do that. Just to give you a little bit of background, Matt, as I say, he's been in the industry since pretty much the very beginning. I first really heard about him, I think, back, I think probably about 2004 when I first found out about Matt, but he'd already been in the industry a while by then. He came with a personal recommendation from Mark Joyner while I was working with Mark. Mark speaks very, very highly of Matt, which only gave me more confidence in him. He was able to set up one of his first companies that built a revenue of around $20 million per year. Now, that's no small feat in any industry, especially ours. So, from there, he went on and was able to uh, set the new gravity record on ClickBank and had actually over 7,000 affiliates promoting for his product. Now that's pretty impressive. So I wanted to find out exactly how he was able to achieve that, and that is what he is going to be talking about today. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Matt Bacak. Hey Matt, how are you going?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. And yeah, just so you guys know, I mean, the one thing is, I'm actually going to do something really special for you. Even he doesn't even know what I'm about to do, but I want to do something special for those of you guys who are listening, especially pre-event. Just because one, it sounds like it's going to be an absolutely amazing event, and I really wish you could be there. And what you guys will realize at the end, one of the last things I'm going to talk about, events just like what he's putting on is a very important thing. That's actually how we originally met at an event. I think it was my
Yeah,
Phil Sames event, actually.
yes, indeed it
Um,
was.
yeah, I flew in on my own plane. I remember. Um, I left Vegas, went from one event to the next, and that's one of the great things. Actually, I spoke like the night before, but and actually, I think that was the weekend I did three in a. There's no way I would have been able to do it if I didn't have my own plane at the time. So,
It's pretty
but
cool.
yeah, but the big thing I just want to share with people is like really, I mean, one of the great things is I want kind of like not make this be like a presentation where I'm sitting here and it's I don't know, I mean whatever it's I mean it is a presentation, but I also want to go off the cuff a little bit and just really provide a lot of value. So you want to make sure you guys pay close attention to everything that I talk about, but before I get going, I just want to kind of share with you guys because I have, I started off like many of you guys. Well, some of you guys, if you know any of my story, I started off from nothing, came in and made a lot of money in the business. I think back in, I really haven't really wanted to talk about it this much, but but in December 2008, I experienced what my wife now refers to as the apocalypse. Um, and basically my world got turned upside down, and I had to start my life all over again. And the reason I bring that up is it all makes sense here in a sec because I know many of you guys are using his platform. Many of you guys are out there. Maybe you have a product in your mind, or maybe you've got a different product. But I just want to kind of share with you guys that I mean I went from being super successful to dead broke practically overnight, and really with nothing left to invest in any new business, no enterprise to fall back on at the time. It was kind of crazy what ended up happening to me. And at the time, I was really wounded and I was shell shocked. But somehow I had to start all over from scratch. It's a long story. I don't want to get into it. But so for the next 2 years, when that happened, that's exactly what I did. And I needed to really generate some quick income. And so I started out using ClickBank to market other people's products online. And I really just went straight to become an affiliate marketer from 2000 to 2010. And if some of you guys don't know what ClickBank is, I know some of you may or may not. Basically, it was one of my best income streams sources that I ended up using. But for now, let's just say it's a big wholesale like warehouse so that provides you just countless things and products to information source that you can sell stuff with and generate your revenue. And the great thing is I know he's got a platform built in, so you guys can actually you don't even need that crap. You can just actually use your own platform, which is even better because then you get the money quicker, a lot quicker. But using my background in internet marketing, I'll tell you, I gradually crawled out of that hole that I was shoved into, and until after a few months, I was back to earning a good living. And I only bring that up because the problem was I wasn't really happy at the time, and I wasn't fulfilled, and I really kind of was angry and kind of felt like victimized about what happened. I don't want to get into it, but it was crazy at the time. But more than that, after 2 years marketing other people's products, information, I realized that I desperately wanted something of my own to offer. And it's kind of like, again, I mean, I had my own offers and they all went away. So I want to do something again, and the way I had done things in the past. And so the reason I bring that up is because maybe you guys want to learn. I know that's why you guys are going to go there, so you can learn how you can increase your income, and to provide a better life for yourself and your family. And that's exactly what it is. And I also know that one of the greatest professional satisfactions comes when especially for me, when your knowledge and your expertise can touch and benefit as many people as possible. So that's exactly how I felt, and I wanted to create a product of my own that had exponentially, would exponentially increase the number of people out there's lives that I can transform. So in short, I needed a win, and that's one thing. So I had to do something big and actually, this all makes sense in here in a second, and it's something that something that had such a high level, of success that I knew I was back on top again. And I wanted to change the rules of internet marketing. So I just want to share with you guys things. So what I did was I created a brand new product, a downloadable set of 4 2-hour videos, and we actually called it the Mass Money Maker Method. And basically, this information, what it did is grew out of my years of bleeding edge of at the bleeding edge of internet marketing. And what it did, and you can't really do this at the time, but what it ended up doing now, but what it ended up doing is it enabled people to be able to anyone to be able to generate Google first page of Google and with opt-in pages. And so and the cool thing about that is and people will be able to create a huge contact list to make mass amounts of money. And the reason I bring this up is because I knew that this information was unique and very powerful at the time. Because, gosh, I think back in 2006 is when you really couldn't get opt-in pages, or 2008 or something. Things changed, but I was able to figure out how to get opt-in pages back up in search engines again. So it was a really unique and powerful and effective way, and it truly anyone online could be able to make money with that and make things happen. So the challenge was to generate awareness of the product and to get an unheard of number of affiliates or people to promote the product to their own list and revenue share. And the interesting thing and so I ended up choosing ClickBank. That was the destination, choosing ClickBank to make things happen. And I don't know if you know this, but there's a thing called gravity on ClickBank. And basically what it is, it just measures the popularity of a product, maybe with affiliates and stuff like that. So simply put, basically how it works is every single affiliate who sells a product counts as maybe like one gravity point for that product. So if you had like 10 different people selling that product on any given day, its gravity would be about 10. So the average product offered on ClickBank would have a gravity, somewhere between 10 and 15. That's actually not really the average. The average is probably 0. But let's look at products that are actually selling. 10 to 15. So for a new product with a very successful launch, gravity might reach about 500, and typically that's where it goes. But before we launched that, and here's one thing to know, is before we ever launched that product, only 4 people in the world ever had reached a gravity of 1,000. And so I declared that when I released my package or my offer, that I was going to achieve gravity 2,000. Now there's nobody that ever did that before, but I really wanted to achieve like unheard level of success and to really believe that I was back on top again. So what I did was, and I also wanted to do something else, and I wanted to break my own personal record. And I was just determined to break it. And in my entire career of some of the most successful launches that I ever achieved at the time which is still considered a huge success. I ended up bringing in 15,000 sales at 7 in 7 days. And basically, it was all at $30 a month. So I did over 300. I brought in a $300,000 income stream in less than 7 days. It was back in 2007 or eight. But the reason I did that, I mean, just to bring that up, is so those were the kind of the two goals that I had. So I declared that, or decided to take that launch. Um, you know, I had to reach, instead of 15,000, I had to reach 20,000 of sales in a single week. So, I mean, on it, because it's just, all the stuff. I was like, I really felt I needed to do that. So, and finally, one of the things is when I ended up doing it, even though a lot of people, and this is one thing to take in consideration, holidays are sometimes the worst. People think they're the worst times to do things, to launch a product. I did my launch, in December, on December 28th in 2010. And the reason I did that is December 31st is my birthday. So I wanted to kind of celebrate the success of my launch and kind of the start of my new life. So with that, product in place, just to kind of share, and my goals clear and the launch date set, I began my campaign to create unheard of level of awareness and anticipation. And, just wanted to share with you one thing, when I say that is, I knew achieving the impossible was going to be a huge battle. So I actually read a book, and maybe you guys have read the book, maybe you haven't read the book, but the book is called The Art of War. It was like this book, and I'll show you this book, The Art of War. I ended up started reading The Art of War, and if you guys haven't read it, it's a great book to read. I think it's really good. I mean, a lot of people a lot of big business owners, it's kind of one of the books that they do read and they have on their shelves. And the reason I bring that up is because that was kind of a thing that really helped me make things happen. So I decided I was going to amass my own army, but it's really my army of affiliates. And so the reason I bring that up is because I contacted all the experts whose material I have been marketing for the last 2 years, and told them, or 2 years before that, and told them about my new product, asked them if they would be willing to pass my promotional materials onto their affiliates just as a favor to me. And they said that they were going to, they would, I've been promoting for 2 years, never asked them for anything, so of course they'd be glad to help. And and then the word spread, and by the time that it ended, or by the time our launch started, we had 7,551 affiliates marketing my materials. So I just want to share with you. Here were the results. One, by December 30th. Now remember, we ended up launching on December 28th. On December 30th, the day before the launch, the word or the phrase "mass money makers" had generated more than 125,000 web searches. Like, I mean, what I mean by that is, actually, if you did do a Google, or if you did a search at the time, there was 125 different websites out there promoting it before we even launched. Actually, well, 2 days into the launch, and by the end of the campaign, we ended up having over 9 million websites promoting our offer. So from that, and on the day of the launch, Alexa, basically, if you guys don't know anything about Alexa, basically it calculates the most popular topics on the thing. Ranked us Mass Money Makers #1 ahead of Angelina Jolie, Jennifer Aniston, and actually #4 on the list was a phrase New Year's, and we actually beat New Year's on New Year's, which was kind of cool on that. And here's us right here, just on Alexa, just to share with you on that launch. Alexa right here, and remember my goal of reaching the Gravity 2000 on ClickBank. We actually, on January 10th, 2011, we hit 2,086. What that means, I'm just going to give you guys an example here. What that means is I had over 2,000 affiliates making sales, selling my product. Now, I don't know that many marketers out there that have ever done that. Actually, I don't know anybody that's had over 2,000 affiliates make sales on their thing. Usually it's just a handful of them, and we'll talk about how you can get a handful or a lot here in a sec. But I just want to share with you. Here's actually, if you look over here on the right-hand side, you can see the Gravity score. We ended up getting 7,551 affiliates doing that, and it still remains the highest Gravity rating ever recorded on ClickBank. So, in the goal of selling 20,000 units in a single week, we actually did it on our first day. So, just to share with you, there's a lot of power in getting affiliates, and the sales letter even generated over 5 million unique visitors in less than 2 weeks. So actually it was 5 million, 32,333 unique visitors in less than 2 weeks to the page. So, but what's most important to me is the fact that tens of thousands of people continue to benefit from that program. There's things that we said in there that are still, like, people are still talking about today. And as I had hoped when we launched it, I was able to say that we won. I was back on top again. So here, I'll share with you something kind of cool at the end. Basically, I ended up walking away with millions of dollars. It was like we hit the lottery. It was crazy. I handed my laptop, my cell phone, and my company cards over to my guy in my office named Dave, and it disappeared for a few months. And nobody in my office ever heard from me for months because I just took my kids on their own private vacations individually. So it's really cool doing that. And just to share with you, and I know some of you guys are probably wondering, what the hell is he talking about this for? Because I just want to kind of build it up, just to prove to you guys, I know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to getting affiliates, and I'll share with you how I did this, and how, and kind of so you can follow some of the same exact steps to do that. To get massive number of people promoting your products and buying your products and your ideas. So that's what I'm about to tell you. But the story isn't quite over. In the middle of recording that or recording that launch, the record-breaking launch, I got a phone call from Dan Kenny and Bill Glazer, two of the most highly respected names well, not in the internet marketing, in marketing actually. And this is Bill and Dan. And the reason I said that is because they wanted to lock me in a room for 2 days with their best customers so that I can show them step by step exactly how we accomplished and what we did. And so what they ended up doing is gathered 500 of their top clients, and we charged them $2,000 a piece to attend. We ended up recording that presentation and compiled, of my ideas, the information, all the insider secrets they assembled, and Super Affiliate Secrets. Actually, I just sent him. Just so you know, I just actually mailed you, a copy of this. But the singles, DVDs, CDs, workbooks and everything, bonuses. This is what it was. And the reason I bring this up is because I want to share with you something. These recordings have never been, will never be able to be repeated. And because we captured history in the making, we actually did it during the middle of that launch. And I taught strategies that came from my notes, which is kind of cool. So it was like in the middle of the launch, I wrote down everything. In fact, the event was so powerful, one of the guys walked up to me with a check for over $100,000 to buy my notes. And I'm sharing with you, here's all my notes from that launch. And you actually see I did the launch in 2010. You can see right there. It's just 2000. That's 20 days in. That was 20 days in the launch, and there we go. That's all my things from that. By the way, I said no to the guy for 100,000. I should have actually said yes, but I said no at the time. It was too important to me. Didn't want anybody to see that. But the reason I bring that up is because at the end of this, I'm going to share with you guys how you guys are going to be able to get your hand on the historic course in your hands absolutely free. And
That's
I'll share with you
insane.
guys about that in a sec.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, and you don't even know about this. And I told you I'm going to do something crazy, and it is crazy. And my wife's going to probably kill me after we get done. But so guys, pay close attention. So
Just
I kind of set
on
the
behalf
phase
of
in.
everybody, I just have to say thank you so much. You are the coolest dude in history.
So we're gonna have some fun, but just to share with you guys. So what I want to do is kind of share with you some of the key principles. You need to know right now in order to kind of replicate the success that I have achieved with that, and to create an unbelievable launch. To launch your products or your ideas out there. And so here's some key principles. One key principle number one is this: you must know the outcome you want to create, from your launch or your release. And it's really important. A lot of people, there's different reasons people are, do their launches, and it could be to get customers. And if it is to go get customers, go low ticket. I tell people all the time, if your whole thing is to build a list of customers. Actually, we were talking about this before the call, or before this recording. If you want to get customers, one of the most powerful lists you can ever build is by getting customers. Your customer list is the most powerful thing. And actually, do you know who was it? God, who was I with? Ted Nicholas, which is probably one of the greatest marketers out there of all time. They call him the $1 billion man. And there was another guy. They ended up hiring me to help them a while back, and I will tell this. I want to share with you guys something about that. Is Ted Nicholas and Gary Pennsylvania? That's who it was. They ended up hiring me, asked me to help them on a project they were working on, and from an internet perspective. And I remember their comments to me were something that's really important for you guys to do, to listen to. Is he said something to me, And I remember we actually had an argument. I was arguing with them. I said, "You guys were, idiots." I remember like saying, "No, that's not the way you do it. You need to do it." And like and this what they came back like, "You internet guys, all you do is look at building opt-in lists. When who cares about that? You want to get buyers. So the reason I want to bring it up because there's a big. It's one of those things. Later on, I kind of realized that yeah, they were a little right. I should have listened to wiser people than me. But the fact is, especially when it comes to the game of marketing, but the fact is, to get customers, you go low ticket, and you get mass volume, and the money's in the masses. If you want to get serious income, then you go for high ticket. It's really less volume, but it's a different game, and it depends on how you want to do it. So it's something to think about. Do you want to go get customers? If you do, you want to go low ticket. If you want to go get serious income, then you go get high ticket. To get mass money and mass volume, you need to get a massive amounts of traffic, and traffic is affiliates. The one thing most people don't realize is, affiliates is the key. To a lot of this stuff, you can only do so much on your own. There is no other place on this earth, I don't think, or well, maybe there is, but where, especially on the internet, where you can just literally have somebody push a button and all of a sudden there's traffic coming in. Everybody talks about these stupid, push button, traffic things. The real push button traffic thing on the internet is somebody's autoresponder and mailing their list. Like, that's the real one. I don't know. I've never seen any other piece of software out there that works where you can just push a button and all of a sudden traffic comes to your page. But if people have got list, if affiliates have got list, or people call them JV partners, affiliates got list, then just so you guys know, that's the big thing. That's how you make it happen. So just to share with you guys on that. So that's one of the big principles is to understand. Going after that. So get really, really clear on what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, whether it's going to get, to build a business. I know a lot of guys out there to build businesses just off of created a $2,000 program. But there's a lot of guys that build big businesses off of getting tons and tons of buyers, and there's tons of money into marketing to those buyers and stuff like that. Key principle number 2, and this one's a really big thing. I believe, and sorry, pardon for my language, but you must add real value to the lives of your customers, or you're an asshole. If you don't, the biggest problem I think, to share with you guys, the biggest problem in the marketplace, I believe, is the fact that people understand the key concept of making money, but they forget about the most important thing. And I had a huge argument, actually. I was in Titanium, whatever, I don't know what the hell they call it now, at Kenny Glazer, and basically this was a while back because I'm no longer in that program, but I was arguing with one guy, and he's like, they were talking about finding what you want, go get it, and give it to them, because that's like the key to making money. Finding what people want, go get it, and give it to them. That's like, no doubt that's the key. But I think one of the biggest things, and the point I was trying to get across is, guys, look, that's a great concept, but the fact of the matter is, what you got to do is find out what people want, go get it, give it to them, and then give them what they need. Like, if you leave out, like, if you think about it and you surveyed your customers or surveyed your people, everybody wants, all these things, but the problem is it might be what they want, but they really, a lot of times they don't really need it. And so, especially if you're selling information, I really think it's like your job and your duty and your right and your responsibility to not only give them what they need, but also give them what they want. And I'll give you an example of one of the products I created a while back. I'm like, look, guys, I remember at the beginning, I'm like, I told you guys in the sales letter, because it's what you wanted. You wanted to know how to do this. Well, I'm going to show you how to do it right now. And then I went and showed them, and then I'm like, okay, now, if you guys really want to know how to make money, it's like, here, let me show you what you need to know. And so, and I really just switched the whole thing. I gave them what they promised them. But then I went in and it's like, look, if you really want to make a lot of money, you can go after do that shit. You're gonna be chasing your dog, chasing your tail like a dog, or you can go ahead and actually, here's what you really need to do. And it was funny. So many people, the refund rates were nothing on it. Actually, people loved it. The fact that I told them what they actually needed to do. So you really got to add real value in the lives of people. Key principle number 3, and I think this is really important. We'll get into some other stuff here in a sec, but key principle number 3 is this: your affiliates are lazy bastards. All affiliates are lazy bastards, all of them. I don't care who they are. It's amazing, how lazy they are. But the reason I bring that up is because you want to realize that all your affiliates, they're all lazy, and they all want, you got to think copy and paste. They don't want to work. They don't want to think. They don't want to do jack shit. Quite honestly, they don't do anything. All you want, I mean, what you want to do is basically hand them everything you got. The reason I bring that up is because they want to get results. They want real results. They want to get results, and so you want to do everything for them to get results. And I mean, I'm talking when we did our launch, we ended up creating, and most people don't do this, but we ended up creating a JV tools page, and basically it's where tools for the JVs. I mean, think about this. At the beginning, I talked about it. I wanted to create a huge army. And if you look at your affiliate base as an army, if we were an army and we're going to war, uh, you want to think. That's the way I think about it. But if you're going to war, would you not want to give your army the best, tools, the best ammunition to help you win the war? And the answer is, I would. I mean, the biggest problem out there, I will tell you this, whether it's on Warrior Forum or for WSOs, really everything that I've seen, because I'm a big affiliate still these days, and the reason I bring it up is because the number one biggest thing I see out there is nobody gives anybody email swipes, or like what I'm talking about is like, here's an email for you to send out. Now, I know most people like to craft their own emails, or some people like to craft their own emails, but it's a lot of people. You'll get a lot of affiliates mailing if actually you gave them the subject lines, you gave them the emails, if you gave them the tweets, if you gave them that's why I say JV tools, like tools the JVs or the affiliates can use. And one of the biggest keys, to getting affiliates to do it, and actually I'll show you an example. Actually, I helped a guy, one of the guys that I helped on a launch recently. Let's see if I can actually pull it up on my page. And I was pulling this up for you. Here's what Mark Joyner. There's a thing for Mark Joyner right there. Huh. Whatever. Is a pretty. I've known Joyner for ages. Actually, Joyner went to one of my classes a long time ago. But let's see if you're. What was that? Little known. I helped this guy on his launch. Oh, you should probably not see those. Little. Was it little known traffic secret? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so here we go. So here's an example of what I'm talking about for the JV toll page. And this is a launch, actually. I was behind the scenes. I gave help do this whole thing. We actually crushed it on this offer, which the reason I want to bring this up is because you want to give them, like, here's what I'm talking about, email swipe. So, like, here's the email swipe. So most guys, if they do it, they might give people, like, one email, maybe two emails. I mean, if you'll notice right here, if I scroll across the page, we gave them, like, 7 emails. Like, the big thing is the only way if you think about it, I mean, if you only give them one email, they're going to probably only email one email. I mean, we literally, when I get people to mail, they mail. I mean, a lot of people will mail two, three times. Most people, when they're getting, get affiliates to do it, if you make them write the email, remember, like I said, they're all lazy bastards. So if you don't give them stuff to mail, they may not mail unless you make it easy on them. So just to share with you, this is like a WSO launch we did actually not too long ago. This was last month. So anyway, the numbers on that, we ended up selling thousands upon thousands of it. This is the beginning of it. But just to share with you, this is an ugly page, but it still works. Kind of giving them a JV page. Realize that your affiliates are lazy, making things happen from there. Let's see. Yeah, there's the swipes. But giving them swipes. And that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't do, and I think it's really important. It's a big, important principle to understand that they're lazy bastards, and that's the easiest way to get it in people's minds to make them realize. But if you don't, give them all the tools that you can give them. Whether it's emails, give them the subject lines. They don't have to use them, but if they're there, if they're in a rush, they'll just grab them and go. If you give them give them examples of the one thing most people don't do is give them examples of reviews. A lot of people these days, the way they've been taught to promote is through creating sites of your product or service. So if you can give them the review, then you can really help them. And a lot of people that do review sites, they're not going to take yours. You just tell them, hey, modify this, but here's some suggestions you to use. So like giving them that, giving them the banners, giving them different things, just anything that you can think of, tweets, Facebook, things. Like the more you can supply your army with things, the more they're going to use them. On that. The reason, actually, I will tell you on this one. This was like one of my clients helped. I was helping a client and helping them put this together. But we would, if this was mine, I would have done mine personally. I would have done a hell of a lot more than just emails. So that take that in consideration. I want to give my army as much as I possibly can, to make things happen, not just emails. And that's where a lot of people lack. I really think is doing, and that's what we call a JV. This would be like like the JV tools page where they can get the tools they can use to be able to make that happen. So so thinking about that. So if you can do everything for them to give them results. Oh, and I also want to point out with the emails that you guys seen, it's very important. I think this is a big important thing for you guys to realize. If all those were tested emails, like they were tested subject lines, tested emails. I'm very big into split testing, so I split test like 5 radically different. If this even makes sense to some of you guys, but if it doesn't, just don't worry about it. But the fact is, I split test 5 radically different subject lines email that I send out. Like every email that ever gets pushed out through my from me has either been tested or will be or has been tested against at least 5 radically different subject lines. So I'm always testing. I'm always testing my subject lines all the time, and it's very important to actually make this point. If you're hearing me on that, is the fact that when I test, I typically keep all my emails the same, but I always split test subject lines. It's actually the easiest thing to do. But when I do it, I actually choose my winners not by open rates. I choose my winners by clicks. And because, I mean, that's what I really want to get. If I don't get somebody to click on my link, then to go to the page, then what good is it? And if I was going to give my affiliate, an email, I would want to give them the email in the subject line with the best click ratio, not the best open ratio. And that's where a lot of people make a big mistake. So if I can give them an email with a good click ratio, then I'm going to get more clicks or more people, more visitors come to my page, which means I'm going to make more money. So the one that's a big thing to take in consideration is, a lot of people, what they don't do is they kind of make up, here's a bunch of subject lines, here's a bunch of emails. The emails and subject lines that I give people are ones that work. And it's amazing. A lot of my affiliates come back to me like, Matt, I love I always use your emails because your emails, I get more clicks and more opens than any emails that I'd ever write. So it's a good to get a reputation like that, especially with your affiliate base. But it's one thing to think about. So realize that they are, they want to get result. They're all lazy bastards. You think copy and paste. They don't want to think. They don't want to work. They just want to get results. So do everything for them to get results. Here's key principle number 4, and I'll just share with you guys. This is what I believe. When you guys are doing creating a launch or creating an offer, I think it's one shot, one kill. Whether if you're going to get an affiliate to mail, and what I mean by that is you get an affiliate to mail, and they mail your offer, and it doesn't work. Then they're probably not going to mail it again. But if they mail your offer, and they mail your offer and it does work, then they're probably going to mail again. At least if they don't mail again, they're an idiot. I mean, I say that all the time. It's like, it doesn't make sense. Like I will tell you that one of the biggest reasons why I think a lot of people fail in the internet business is because when something works, what they do is they don't do it again. It's amazing to see how many people out there over the years that it's like they have something that works and they never go back and do it again. It's like it's the dumbest thing in the world. They want to go make life hard. They want to go out and find something else. Let me go figure out something else that works, and then let me forget about that and go find something else that works. It's one of those things. One of the keys is when you find something that works, you want to do it again. So the same thing with affiliates. The same thing with yourself. If you got a product that's really worked really well, then you can go back, maybe pretty it up, re-release it, or whatever. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that I see people not doing. Is it because you really do? You have one shot, one kill. So if your offer doesn't have really, what I mean by that is good EPCs, you can shoot yourself in the foot. And when I say EPCs, it's the earnings per click that affiliate's going to get. Now, so if what I'm saying is if I mail an offer, and I mail an offer, let's say I send 1,000 clicks, and I make 1,000 clicks. So I make $200 off the offer. That's 20 cents EPC. That means for $200, I send 1,000 clicks divided by 200. That's 20 cents EPC. that's not going to get me. You're probably not going to get mailed again. When I as being an affiliate or a super affiliate, I'm looking for offers that are about $1 EPC. But I know they don't always get there, but I'm always aiming for about a buck. It's above a buck. I'm going to be really happy. If it's below $1, I understand it can get there. If it's below 50 cents, then I'm not going to mail the thing again. I'm not going to mail the thing again. And so one of the things, if your offer doesn't make sales, if your offer doesn't have good EPC, because today, more and more today, affiliates are staring at their earnings per click, or how much money they're earning for every click that they're sending, more than they ever have in the past. And so it's really important to ensure that that offer, whatever offer you're creating or whatever offer you're doing, has a good EPC, because if it doesn't, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. And I tell people something, and this is really important for people to realize. Somebody was asking, actually, going back to the going back to this offer that I was showing you. Notice I said right here, it's no fluke. EPCs are holding strong. Now we have the OTO. What is it? A buck. EPCs are $1.67. Just on the main offer. On the main offer it was $1.10. You add in that and add in the other offer, it was $1.63. So the reason I bring that up is because I said this to somebody the other day. Somebody was a brand new person. They said, "Well, can I get people to promote my stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "However, it's important to understand this fact. Being a new person, like this guy right here named China Dave, which this guy named China Dave, actually the offer's still online. I actually helped him with this offer. This is a launch that he did. Let me see if actually I can show you guys this offer real quick. Here it is. And this was not like, this is like not mine. This guy's this is his first launch ever, China Dave, and he broke, like, it was crazy what he ended up doing. But let's see right here. So this guy China Dave right here, and I said this to a lot of people, like, well, how can a new guy go out and crush it? Creating a product or creating a service. And I made this comment, and I want you guys to understand this comment. This is probably one of the reasons why you want to go to an event like his event, where everybody in there has got, like, probably going to have affiliates that they can leverage, or they could be your affiliate. But anyway, they have buyers. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is because I said this to him. I said to him, look, if you don't have relationships, then all you have is numbers. And it might be something you might want to write down, because I think, well, actually, I know. If the reason why this offer, this guy, brand new, I mean, you can see a picture of this guy right here. This guy, this guy right here, he just joined, like, whatever here. He's only a 15 post. I mean, I know you guys don't know much about this, but I was going to say, this guy has really never done anything. Came out of the blue and, blew away. Is now, I think, his launch that I helped him with, he was like in the first 200 people ever on Warrior Plus to ever break, I forget what it was, some certain number. But the reason I bring it up is he never did anything before online. And the most important point is to understand that fact that I told you, and that principle is, basically it's one shot, one kill. And I knew it was going to be that with his launch, and that's what I told him. I said, dude, it's one shot, one kill, man. If your offer doesn't have a good this is exactly what I said to him. I said, if your offer doesn't have a good EPC, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. So, because what happens is, if it does have a good EPC, then you're going to start getting people coming out of the woodwork, because affiliates talk. Affiliates are always behind the scenes, and what you don't know is, a lot of times, is there's like these little affiliate communities, and affiliates are always sitting there talking like, man, I mailed this one offer and I made all this money. That's what's happening, and you want people to talk about you that way. That's why you want to make sure that it happens, because the first day that they promote determines the rest, and to make things happen from there. And this is the day that decides if affiliates will push hard again and again and again. And that's exactly what you want. And that's actually what he found on his launches. He was just in shock. There were people coming out of the woodwork going to promote his offer. So, and that's one thing to think about. That this day decides affiliates will mail and push again and again. So that's one thing to think about, and I really want you guys to understand this. It's one shot, one kill. I will tell you a long time ago. It's funny the mat today, and the mat of 2004 and the mat of 2005, 2004, and the mat of today it's a totally different person in a sense than I used to believe. I swear to you, this is crazy. I used to be, well, hell, I created it's going to sell. Like it was just like, well, I put my name on it's going to sell. Now I realize that I don't go to the bank. I don't deposit ego into the bank. So the reason I bring that up is I make more and more money understanding this principle. Where I know if I can get the EPCs up, I'm going to get people to mail again. People can keep on continuing coming back to promote that offer from there. And like I said, the first day that they promote determines the rest. So this is the day that decides if affiliates will push hard again and again. So that's another principle, or that's one principle to take consideration. Key principle number 5. This is one thing that's really interesting when it comes to, if I analyze all the launches I've done, and I've probably done over 100. I mean, well, I would say I've done like 5 or 6 big launches, but I've done a lot of what we call mini launches. Whether it's to my releases or whatever to my list. But what I've always found is when I'm recruiting affiliates, there's 2 different types. You've got the affiliates. When I say there's affiliates and super affiliates, and super affiliates account for about 90% of all my sales. So if I go in and look, and even on that big launch that I did, if I go in there and look at it, 90% of all my sales came from a select few. It was the super affiliates, the ones that bring in all the sales. The affiliates equal about 10% of the sales. And when I'm saying affiliates, these to me they're the guys that can are sending me a couple hundred clicks. When I'm talking about super affiliates, like on my launch that I did with ClickBank, we had guys sending over 100,000 clicks, to the offer. I mean, there's people out there that, especially if the numbers work, people are going to mail that thing, and they're going to come out of the woodwork, like I said, to mail the thing. So attracting, when you get a super affiliate, they're gonna count for about 90% of your sales. So the thing is, the reason I bring that up is so it's focus 90% of your time and energy on the super affiliates, from there. And another principle I want to share. I mean, so it's really important to think about that. If you can, once you've got them, the big thing is you can get some of the little guys to mail at the beginning, but once you get a super affiliate mailing, you want to spend your energy, taking care of them, talking to them, find out what else you can get them to keep on mailing. Key principle number 6 is EPC is everything, but it's not the only thing. And the reason I say that is because it is not the only thing, and this is really important thing. Affiliates need reasons to promote your offer, and they need reasons to promote. And money is not the only motivator. It's really not. Higher end achievement is, and that's one big thing. Market status is a motivator. A lot of times when people are doing launches, you can do things like trophies, you can do things like awards, you can do things like leaderboards from there, and market recognition is another. So a lot of people like, and when I'm talking about market recognition, people like to be recognized. People like to, be, right now there's leaderboards going out. People are talking about, and I don't know, somebody's doing a promotion right. I mean, there's a bunch of people doing promotions right now, but you can see here's leaderboards. People like to be recognized. People like to have, because of the leaderboards. People like to get awards. People like to get trophies. And the reason I bring all this up is because I want to share with you something, which is I think is actually it's probably in one of the other principles, but key principle number 7 is don't break your trust with your buyers. And the big thing is once somebody becomes a buyer with you, they believe in you, and you need to believe in them, and it's really important to understand that. Key principle number 8. Key principle number 8, I would say, is if you don't have a good JV invite page, you're screwed, and you won't get affiliates. See, I'll show you what one is here in a second, but let me just say that the JV invite page is a page that you get affiliate. It's kind of like an opt-in page to sell your stuff. Is really what it is, if you kind of think about it from that perspective. But it's really more than that. You can't just look at it as that's the distinction most people have and believe is that the JV invite page is basically a page that you invite JVs and you have them sign up to promote your stuff. So a lot of people will ask for the name and email address. They look to the JV invite page as a I would say, um, as an opt-in page. But I think they missed the biggest key. This page right here, if you don't have a good JV invite page or a page that invites JVs to promote your stuff, then you're not going to get affiliates. So instead of looking at it as an opt-in page to get affiliates to promote, you want to look at it as a sales letter to get people to promote. And like the outcome is, well, of course, I mean the order is really getting them to opt in to be able to promote your stuff. Now, and I'll show you one here in a second. Actually, I'll show you something. I'll show you, or actually, I'll read you guys one. But it's really important to have a good JV invite page. And maybe I can find one on my computer. Actually, I'm going to pause the screen for a second. Let me see if I can find it on my computer so I can show you. If not, I've actually got the home. It's in the home study course that I've got. I got it in my bag. Let's see here. Escape. Actually, okay. Let's see if I've got JV invite. Let's see if this is it. If not, you guys will be like one of the first people to. Maybe. This isn't the prettiest looking thing because this is a PDF version of it, but I'll kind of share with you. This is actually the one we used in our launch. I've got a better version in the I don't have my pages anymore. That's the reason I was actually going to show you. So I'll show you guys right here. This is one we used back in for that launch that I did a while back. And the reason I want to show you this is because this I have a better copy I gave to Glazer Kennedy, but anyway, this is a PDF of it. I don't have the pages aren't. I lost all the pages, so which really sucks. But this is an example of our JV invite page. Now I want you to kind of look at this and well realize that it doesn't look this red. This is really ugly. Looks a lot prettier than this. But if you come up here, I just want to share with you. So we said on December 28, 2010, you're invited to change the game. And we actually, remember I was talking to you guys about creating a war? Well, we called it that. We ended up naming our launch. And we ended up naming the launch, we called it the ClickBank Massacre. So, one of the things that most people spend a lot of time, a lot of energy doing is really spending their time thinking of the name of their product. Spending a lot of time thinking about the name of their headlines for their sales letters. But they don't spend enough time thinking about the name, the name of their launch. People don't actually name their launch, and that's exactly what we did. And so we ended up creating it, calling the ClickBank Massacre. And so we decided, we really decided that we were going to create what we called the ClickBank. Call it the ClickBank Massacre. And I want to share this with you, and I'll kind of read this, and you guys can read it. But I want to read this to you because it really if you pay close attention to this is our literally a page to invite our affiliates and our JV partners to sign up for our launch. That's all this is. It's like a sales letter, and this is where everybody makes their biggest mistake. And this is how we got so many affiliates. And like I said, we ended up with 7,551 affiliates. And I feel, my personal feeling is one of the reasons we were able to make it outside of the fact that the offer actually worked, meaning it had good EPC. But outside of that, we had tons and tons of affiliates signed up before it started, and I believe the number one biggest thing was this actual page, our JV invite page, that invited affiliates to promote our stuff. And so I'll kind of read this to you because I think it's really powerful and it's really important for people to actually hear it and hear the rhythm and the rhyme that we use when we're in here. And that's probably why this thing looks so ugly. Is because it's just coming up different. But it says right here, it says goes in here. It says let's change the game. Let's break every single rule. Let's do something that's never been done before. And in a sense, let's touch the untouchable. Let's break the unbreakable, and let's create history together. Are you in? And then it goes in to say on December 28, 2010, we're gearing up for one of the biggest launches, not only in 2010 but also in 2011. Let me explain. We got enough marketing firepower to send enough clicks to make even Google jealous, and all sincerely, really do. And that's why we're aiming high. In fact, let's go over here. In fact, we're aiming so high that we're shooting for the stars. And if we miss, we'll still hit the moon. Destroy it on joke. And we're still hit the stars. We're talking about reaching the unreachable, breaking 2,000 gravity, which has never been reached before. seeing the unseeable, 20,000 front end units, not total units, and in turn create history. But we cannot do it without you, and that's why you're here. We need every able man, woman, and child to become part of history, and something bigger than all of us. And keep on going from here, and you'll actually pick up some good stuff for your when you guys think about this. And it says, "Come close, listen up." I don't know why it's red and ugly, but come closer and listen up. That's why you're here. It doesn't matter if you're a top dog, top dog, super affiliate, or a newcomer in the game. You're here to pave the path for future internet marketing superstars to be. You see, earlier this year, we saw talent from every corner of the globe. We saw, unknown names become household names, shatter all records. We saw old timers, come back into the game and one up them and set an even higher standard. From the UK to the West Coast, guys broke records and not only showed us what's possible to be, but what also is expected of a fine launch. With this in mind, we're inviting you to do it again, except this time, let's do it bigger on December 28th. So why the insane date at the end of the year when everyone else seemed to avoid it like a plague? Now, let me just share with you guys this. And this is a key. There's going to be some points that you guys really need to take in. And one of the points is, if you are going to do a launch, you want to declare, or you want to declare your launch date. And so I'll just share with you. We had our launch slated for November 11th in 2010, but there were so many launches out there. So out of respect to everyone, we decided to move it, and out so we can get out of the way of everybody, so they wouldn't step on anybody's toes. Basically, and two, it was my birthday on December 30, New Year's Eve, and I turned 33 at the time. And like I said, I've been in this game for over a decade, met some of my closest friends here, and we all call it home sweet home. So, so I kind of used, and what I did here was, I kind of used, instead of, kind of like shamed them into mailing me, like, don't send me anything for my birthday. The only thing I'd like to hit is #1 on ClickBank and shatter all records. And so, then I go in, what's the plan? What's the grand scheme? We call it the ClickBank Massacre. We're here to create a revenue riot, pillage ClickBank for profit, and ransack their bank accounts, and all a good fun, of course. But, talk is talk and talk is cheap. Now, it's odd. But, so in case you're wondering who's on board, who's on board with 100% commitment, let's talk about who's not on board. And then we left the line out intentionally. And second, who's coming to promote. And we had this long, huge list of all of these people, that ended up promoting it. It was just freaking long, and it got even longer. And so anybody that said they were going to promote, we just kept on adding their name to the list. It was actually insane. Let's see. So, and that's one thing I'll just kind of share with you. When people do say that they're going to promote, like publicly putting their name out there, it enhances it enhances them to promote, just because now they're publicly, it's kind of like they've got this public, somebody said they're going to promote, so they have to promote. So the next thing that we kind of went in here, says, now why are they promoting? Now, this is a really important thing for you guys to understand and really pay attention to. There's a lot of lessons actually inside this. One of the things we have identified, and when we wrote this, is we identified the reasons why people promote. So if you guys are going to do a launch, you're going to get affiliates. Well, why do they promote? The answer to that is there's three reasons why they promote: money, power, and respect. Kind of like I was talking about a little bit earlier. So anyway, so what we did, and it goes in there, let's talk about the money. We're all in this to make money, and to make a lot of it, more than we can spend, and that's precisely what you'll get. You'll be able to make more money than you know what to do with. And we kind of went into it. We actually used a funnel that we had. It was a tested upsell path that we had that did over $5 million in sales. So the upsell path that we used had over $5 million in sales in it at the time. Now it's had a lot more, because I still actually use that path. And it's a proven winner. And I'll tell you what it is right here. So our proven path that we found, and it really doesn't matter what your front end is, which is actually kind of cool, but our front end offer at the time for this offer was $37. Now, so if somebody doesn't believe they can make millions upon millions of dollars on a $37 offer, well, then I did. So just to share with you guys, it's funny actually, from what I understand, because nobody knows how much money I really made on that, but I will just tell you, from what I understand, the biggest big ticket launch that's ever happened, we beat with a $37 offer. So just to kind of give you guys a thing, so you can do a $37 offer. One of the things I'll just share with you too, when we did the launch, yeah, at the end of the launch, basically at the end of the launch, we kind of sat back like, well, we never did price testing. We tested the offer tons of times. We started off the offer at $37. At the end of the launch, we ended up flipping it to $47. There was not a change in conversion. The only thing there was a change in profits. So something to take in consideration. Sometimes when you are doing testing, price testing actually is a cool thing. But basically, our front end offer is a $37 offer. Our first one-time offer we had, or first OTO, was $297. Our second OTO we had was $197, and our third OTO we had on it was $97. So that was our that kind of flow right here, and we found has proven to win. And so what we did is we kind of totaled it all up through them. So we just told them, like, that all totals up. So if you actually add all that up, it would total up to be $628 per sale. And then if you got a 50% commission, typically you guys probably know this, but when it comes in, I mean, your typical thing that you're going to do for commissions is probably about 50%. Sometimes people do more. Sometimes people do less. I will tell you, it's better to go 50 or higher, like give more, than it is to give less. Especially on the front end. A lot of times, a lot of people will do in their offers, especially if they have some OTOs or one-time offers, is they might give away 100% of their front end and then keep all the back end. So that's another little trick that most people don't realize, where they give 100% here, give half that, and then keep the rest here. So there's different ways you can play with the numbers and kind of get it so that everybody wins. They win on the front end, you win on the back end, or however you want to do it. But we did it where we gave 50% commission across the board for everything. So if somebody bought everything, that would be $314 per sale, which can result in one thing: super high EPC. So let me see this. Keep current scheme, but ask me again and don't ask me again. There we go. All right. So which can only result in one thing. So let's further break this down. So basically, what we did was we took this number right here and just gave them an idea that we broke it down. So, if you did 10 sales and everybody bought, then you would get 3,000. And we kept on, like literally 1,000 sales. We actually probably had an affiliate that I think we had an affiliate that made over $300,000 in that launch, from there. So then I go in, and then we kind of went in and we broke it down further. Remember, we talked about it. It was money, or it was power, respect. Money, power, and respect were the three things. So one of the things that we did to enhance the money is we lined up, we gave away launch prizes. And remember, I was telling you guys, people like to win prizes, people love contests. This is actually probably, this was the older version. We have a new version in the home study course. But this is what we were going to do. We actually changed it. We still used $20,000. Actually, it was $27,000. We actually disregard this, but let me just tell you what we did. We did your regular launch thing where we had $20,000. We had top prize. Actually, let me grab it. We had the top prize, and that was. Let's see. Oh, here it is. But basically, because this is the wrong version. Let me get in the home study course real quick. Let's see here. This is pretty cool. So yeah, here we go. So we had. This is what it says in the home study course, which is the most recent version. So it's where on what you guys are seeing, it says 20,000. It says here, it says 27,000. So it says, now let's take a step further and talk about $27,000 cash prize we're offering. And it says, yes, we've lined up $27,000 of our own money for this launch. Instead of doing a traditional prize where everyone goes to one top dog, we decided to do 7 mini contests within the launch, and one really big one. So you can help create history. So how we did it was, for the first 7 days of the launch, we gave out $1,000. And now that's becoming a little more, people are using it, but I think we were like one of the first people to do that. We actually did a daily, every day, whoever made the most sales, we gave out we had a contest for them. So it was like a daily, every day we handed out $1,000, and we actually made it pretty cool. We handed out $1,000 to whoever's the top winner on it. We really did this all in faith. We actually didn't even know if we were going to pull this stuff off. People were really betting. It was crazy. Behind the scenes, people were betting and saying, we couldn't make it, but people were mailing, literally, well, I'll help you out. I'll mail once, or whatever. And then after they saw how much money they made, they kept on mailing. But the reason I bring that up is we did 7 mini contests, and then basically then the official launch ends, which you guys don't see on your page, but it says the official launch ends on the 11th day, and on that day we'll release $20,000 cash prizes. So the first prize went for $10,000, then we had the second prize $5,000. So we had the cash prizes on that. And the one other thing we did do, we added it in later, which I actually wrote down on the home site, of course, it says, oh crap, and if you make one sale, you get a chance to win $100 a day for the first 7 days. So that was really for the little guy to do it. So kind of from there. So now it goes into, now you know how much money you're going to pocket. Remember, the second reason was they're promoting was power. And so power can be intoxicating. And, well, we all want it, isn't it? And then kind of goes in and talks to it with all the money and respect. This is, that's why this launch will show you once and all who has the power in the market. The top 10 will be crowned the most powerful internet marketers in the world. They'll stand among giants, rightfully, so, and in turn, they'll get the respect, which is the third reason why they're promoting. So basically, it says, as you know, I got rewarded. I don't know if you know this, but I got at some event, I won Internet Marketer of the Year. And no reward. I want to get some of the most talented people. I beat a lot of guys that are in infomercials, actually. But and ended up winning that. So what does that got to do with this or you on this? It says, well, everything. And I feel that I want to pass the torch on. So what I ended up doing, and which you'll actually see right here, is that's the award I got. And basically what I did was I handed over the title to the #1 promoter and launch. So I ended up getting the same one I got. I went out and bought it and actually handed this this award out. Because remember, I was telling you guys telling you guys a little bit earlier is basically back in here, like there's people love, one of the big things, a big motivator is trophies, awards, and things like that. So that's exactly, you're actually seeing me implement the stuff I'm talking about in this and really help build out the launch. So we actually handed out that to the top promoter. It says, you, my friend, have a chance to go against some of the world's talent and show who's boss, and in turn the thing. And we actually didn't just do one reward. We actually did multiple different awards. So for that launch, so we did Internet Marketer of the Year. We did Internet Marketer of the Year runner-up. Actually, that wasn't probably the smartest one because the person got the runner-up was pissed off because they really wanted the first one. So they were like the second. They were top guy, and I think the actual runner-up actually sent more clicks than the person that won, and so it was just crazy. Just the one that won had higher EPC or made more money per click. We actually rewarded the person that had the highest EPC, and then we also gave it to the most clicks sent. So the Internet Marketer of the Year runner-up actually I think won the most clicks sent too. So from there, so we go into, and I'll share with you, if you noticed, all that was for the heavy hitters. So we ended up teaching a strategy, and I don't know if you guys remember. Like I said at the beginning, something like we had all these affiliates. Let's see, we had at the beginning of the launch, we had where's that? About I don't know how many we had. There's like 129,000 people, or 129,000 or something like that. 125,000 search results. By the end of the campaign, we had 9 million websites. Well, here's what we taught them. So what we did is we actually taught people a thing called spillover, and it's called the spillover effect. And what it is we told the little guys, we're like, hey guys, look, here's the deal. And I trained, I literally trained my affiliates to become become better and how to do things. And so this is what we taught them. We call it the spillover effect, and I'll go over it in a second. But it says, we didn't forget about you. The reason we waited to mention this to you until now is because we had to set the stage where it pays off for you. You see, on every massive launch, on every massive launch, there's a thing called the spillover. And it simply means that the big boys take care of the revenue riot, or take care of the riot, and of course the riot then spills over the search engines, Facebook, Twitter, and every site you can think of. And that's where we told people that they can come in, and that was their time to shine and to tap into the spillover cash, and cash in big and claim their spot on it, and be able to make things happen. So you actually see right here, when you did a search for it, we actually had all these sites. There's 125,000 different sites that actually were out there promoting, promoting it, from there. So, and it says just do whatever they do, and you're sure to win. Actually, like I said, at the end of the thing, so we started off before it happened, 125,000, and then we ended up with 9 million, which is crazy, after it was all done. And then we pulled back the curtain on the product itself, on it, and I just, the big thing from there. So now, let's talk about the game plan, and we just kind of like tell them about the game plan, and we told them we all need to come together as a military unit and get their guns ready for war. Then this is where they filled out the thing. Now, the reason I want to bring this up is because I don't know that many people that spend this much time actually, recruiting affiliates. I mean, that's our affiliate recruitment page, and it was a sales letter to sell affiliates on selling our stuff. If you really think about it, that's exactly what it is. And I'll tell you, that's one of the key factors, because one of the biggest issues most people have is not getting affiliates. And one of the ways to get affiliates is, by spending spending some time and energy on actually the pay on recruiting and affiliates. And that's exactly what I'll share with you. That was our JV invite page that we ended up using. Oh, yeah, see, here's the form for people to sign up on. I think it's right there. So it's just a form for people to sign up, and they fill in their information and, sign up from there. So that was exactly what we did to do it. And that's what I'm talking about. When we're back over here, let's see, scroll back. And actually, I'll tell you, I got that in the course. Actually, a better version. But let's see here. Good EPCs. 90% affiliates. Reasons they promote. Higher achievement. There you go. 7. And night. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so like I said right here, if you don't have a good JV invite page, you're screwed and you won't get affiliates. Like, this is one, I will tell you, we actually split tested that page, I believe 26 times before we launched. It may be, or something. I know we actually spent time and energy, and like, I don't know anybody that actually split test their JV invite page like I did. Why? Because I knew it was an important fact to be able to get affiliates to promote my stuff. So, everybody should know, or it's easy to find out how to write a sales letter, how to do a sales video. You guys have the right thing to be able to set up all your products, but the fact is, you've got to do JV recruitment, and the one thing you need to do is, to get JV recruits, is you got to recruit them, and then you got to give them, ammunition. And so that's what I'm talking about. Those two factors, the JV invite page, which I just showed you, I don't think people spend enough time on, and the JV tool page, which what I showed you earlier, are probably the two biggest things that people don't do to be able to get their affiliates. And I think it's really important to spend more time, more energy doing that to make things happen, because you'll be able to get more affiliates. So from there, key principle number 9 is probably one of the reasons why you got to go to the event. I mean, and this is what we wrote down, and this is what we came up with. The strongest force on the internet, and you guys should write this down. If you didn't write down anything I talked about, I think this is what you need to write down, is the strongest force on the internet is not technology, it's not the list, it's not the traffic. It's the relationships that create them. And with that, in that right there, I think was kind of the when somebody asked me, Matt, what was the true secret? How did you make things happen? I will tell you, I don't know 7,000 whatever 5,151 affiliates, but I do know that it all started with relationships that I had. And if it wasn't for the relationships that I had, people that I met at events, people that I talked to and communicated via the internet. Actually, I'm not a Skype guy, so but I mean, I never really talked to anybody on Skype. However, I will say that it was the relationships that created them, and I think that this quote right here was a huge, impactful thing, for it into creating the launch. And the reason I bring that up and kind of mention this is because, and I want to kind of do something special. At the beginning of this presentation, or beginning of it, I talked to you about different things. I talked to you guys about this product that I put together with Dan Kennedy, and I will tell you, people pay $2,000 to get it. I don't sell this anymore. Actually, it's we've got the whole recording of the event that I did. I mean, literally, when I did that huge launch, and we ended up getting 7,551 affiliates. Like I said, I mean, hell, I actually this is it from my. I went and grabbed it because I actually carry it with me everywhere I go. Actually, the exhibit page, and that's where I pulled it out. When I fly, I actually go read my stuff because I don't want to remember, or I don't want to forget the things that we did. I mean, I basically went over a lot of stuff. The reason I bring this up is because you can go and get this. You can't get this actually. You can't buy this on the internet. I don't believe anybody's selling on eBay. I don't believe like you can't really get it anywhere. You can't even get it from me. You can't buy it from me. And the reason I bring it up is if you actually do want to get it, you have to go to a Dan Kennedy event. And actually, if you do go to his event, and you go to the back of his room, and it's usually about $2,000 to go to one of his events. You got it then, so you have to pay $2,000, and then you go to the back table, and on the back table you'll find this. Because I requested we don't sell it anywhere on the internet, and that was part of my contract with them. Is the only opportunity we have is we sell it from stages, and we're not allowed to sell it less than $1,000. But we do sell it for, I believe they sell it for $2,000. And so, I mean, it's people pay $2,000 for it. We don't sell it. I mean, they don't sell it more less than $2,000. And the reason I want to bring this up is because here's what I want to do, something special for you guys. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to get this for free. And what I mean by that is, I will, if and basically, if you guys, unfortunately, I can't go to the event, right? But so I want to do something really special. I want you to go to the event. I feel it's really important, especially what I talked about at the end. I think it's the strongest force on the internet. Just like I told you guys, is the strongest force on the internet is really is not the technology, it's not the list, it's not the traffic, it's the relationships that create them. And the best place that I've ever created relationships are in hotels, at events, a lot of times at the bars or at the events, and in back of the room, or outside the room and stuff like that. And events have created so many great relationships for me. That's why I feel it would be awesome for you to go. And if you do go to the event, and now I'll tell you, if you do go to if you go buy your ticket for the event at whatever price they've got it at, whatever price you got it at, if you let them know and send the receipt to their support, and he doesn't even know I'm making him do this, but if he sends the receipt to their support, and now this starts from anybody that buys after today. Sorry, I can't just go backwards, but I will go forwards on this. So anybody that buys, what today is, July 23rd, my time. But if you do get it, basically from here on, before the event happens, you do get the event, and you decide, go to the event. All they've got to do is just write them after you do order your ticket. Write them and tell them, hey, listen, I just got it, and basically, if you get an order ticket through them, I will ship this to you for free. Now, it'll come from I'll ship you the home study course for free. It comes from the Dan Kennedy's fulfillment department. It's real, it's DVD. We've got DVDs, we've got CDs, we got the whole thing. It's a Kennedy Glazer product. If you guys know anything about Kennedy Glazer, it's a great freaking product. It's probably one of the best products I ever put out. I just don't want to get it in that many people's hands, and that's why I'm kind of making the qualifier this big. But if you do choose to get your tickets, right now, or when you get them and you go to the event, let me know, because by the time you get back from the event, for sure I'll have this in your doorstep. So all I've got to do is I got to let them know. Now, it will cost me money, so that's why my wife's probably going to kick my ass, because it does actually. I have to pay for the the shipping, and I have to pay for the fulfillment on it. But I am willing to do that. Unfortunately, I can't get there for family reasons, but I want you to get there. And since I want you to get there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an extra special bonus for you going to the event, and I will literally ship that course from you from Dan's office, well, their fulfillment department. It'll ship out to you guys, and you guys will get it. As soon as I get your information, the faster you're going to get it. So we'll actually get it shipped out like the day we get your information. I'll have them ship it out. If it's on the weekend, we'll get it to you on Monday. But we have some that are actually already printed up and ready to go, and I'll get them to get that out to you. So I will tell you, it's the only way you can get it unless you go to a $2,000 Dan Kennedy event, and then you got to pay another $2,000 from there. Right here, you can get it first. I'm going to give it to you for free, with your ticket from the event if you order today or before the event ends, because I feel it's that important, especially if you think about this. Many of the people in there. If you really just look at the market that's going to be there, it's going to be one of the best opportunities for you to ever do anything. Because think about this: everybody in there probably got a product, and if they don't have a product, they're going to create a product, and if they do, that means they're going to have buyers. And so it's not just anybody having a list, but you're going to be with people that have lists of buyers, so to promote your stuff from there. And like I said, the relationships are the key, and creating those relationships, being in a great place, would be a great thing to do. So I want to, one of the things I wanted to do that is actually just as, hey, I'm sorry I can't make it kind of thing, and just tell you guys from there. Now, if somebody is listening to this, I will tell you, if somebody's listening to this and has already got a ticket, I unfortunately I can't just go. I'm not going to go retro back. Because there's a lot of people I know got tickets, but I will say if you do want to pay for the shipping, you can let them, let me know or let them know. You guys can contact. I don't know if I'm allowed to give out my email information, but if you contact their support, they let me know that you want me to ship you one. If you just cover the shipping cost, I'm fine with that. The shipping and handling cost, I'll be fine with that, and I'll get it out to you from there, because I did not offer this back then, but it is offered from today on out. So if you're sitting on the fence going, hopefully this pushes you over the fence to get there, because I think it's going to be a great place for you to go to meet people. So from there. So that's kind of the thing. I'm probably going to get in trouble later, but it doesn't matter. We'll be fine. I really think it'd be a good thing for you guys to go to the event, and it's my way of in a sense saying I'm sorry. So that I'm not going to be able to make it, but like I said, there's some family stuff that did come up. So with that being said, I'm pretty good. I'll tell you guys, it's an opportunity of a lifetime, and and it is on the it's off the table, of course, once the tickets stop selling. But other than that, between now and then, you guys are good to go.